It's that time again. Another episode of the Cherish Each Moment podcast. Thanks for joining. I'm Jimmy Lewis, and I am excited to tell you more about all the things that are going on in my lawn and outside of my lawn. Got a special interview with Jeremy of the Greener Lawn in this episode as well. So make sure that you stick around. We've got a lot to unpack and a lot to talk about. Let's get started. All right. Lots going on over here as usual. I'd like to just start by talking about a couple of highlights that happened in the last week or so. Does anybody else feel like time is just flying right now? We're already into June, middle of June, and I feel like I'm just getting started. And we're already in summer, and it feels like summer. Tell you what, it started out hot the last week or so, cooled off over the weekend, and it's been really hot here, and hardly any rain at all, like zip, which is most unfortunate. We have seen record-breaking temperatures here in Utah, and we have a new record of 107 degrees recorded at the Salt Lake City International Airport just a couple days ago. The hottest it's gotten at my house is 102, and yeah, it's quite the battle this year, given that we're in a drought and that we have watering restrictions that are being implemented, and we don't know if they're going to be any more than they already are. I've talked quite a bit about that on this podcast, and I intend to talk more about that because I think this is a great place to share my opinions on what's happening. So far, nothing's changed. I'm still on 2 days a week, and I am hand watering areas that are struggling a little bit in between, in the meantime. So, the grass is doing well. I have a couple of spots in the backyard, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 spots that I can show you right off the top of my head in the backyard that are getting water. They, I think, probably are just a little hydrophobic. I need to get back there and just kind of, next time I go and spot water them, which will probably be tomorrow or the next day, I will do so with a dash of baby shampoo just to kind of help break those bonds and allow the water to get down into the soil a little bit easier. So that's been part of my strategy. Got a couple areas in the front yard. The front yard's kind of a little bit different just because it's cut so much shorter. I find that the front yard areas that struggle the most are the areas that get most of the foot traffic. And I've started noticing that more so because my boys have started playing t-ball, and that's probably one of the greatest things ever to watch because they're on the same team. It's the last year that we could get them on the same team, so we wanted to take advantage of that. And my oldest has been a little bit more interested in it as far as practicing at home than my younger boy. And so we've been playing catch pretty regularly, and the front yard is a great place to do that because I can roll him some ground balls, and the ball will just roll on the grass really nicely because it's cut so short, whereas in the backyard, the grass really slows the ball down and stops it before it even gets to him. So we've spent some time on the front yard practicing and playing catch and things, and you can tell where that additional foot traffic has been from us playing out there. And so I just have to get out there with the hose and spot water for just a few minutes, and as soon as I see those first signs of heat stress, and then it clears it up pretty quick. Even within just like 30 minutes after watering, you see a difference, which is really cool. Kind of fun. But yeah, it is a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of extra work, a little bit of extra time, but being able to maintain a green lawn is rewarding for me. It makes me feel good, and it's just nice. I'd much rather look at a green lawn than a drought-stricken lawn that's struggling and going into dormancy or even dying. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully we don't have any more restrictions that are implemented that will really affect my strategy at this point. So at least, like I said, time's going by fast, and hopefully summer will go by pretty quick and we can get into some cooler temperatures, and fingers crossed and prayers all around that we get a really hard winter and a lot of snow. And one good winter is not going to do it for us. It's not going to get us back to normal, but it's definitely going to be a better situation with a good winter than a winter like we've had the last several years where we don't get hardly any snow. So we'll see what happens. I'm anxious to see how that turns out. I'm definitely not looking forward to winter by any means. There's so much more to be done before then, but I am curious to see how winter this year pans out. So that being said, I did do a little bit of an application of fertilizer. If you haven't seen the video of the Freedom fertilizer, please go check that out. I'm really happy with how that turned out. I've put a lot of time and effort into that, and I think I did the product justice, and I'm really happy to have that out. The front yard's looking really good. You may have heard that you get a different green color with this fertilizer, and I am seeing a change of color. It is a lighter green. It's a more green color than a bluish green, for sure. I haven't put it down in the backyard yet. I just haven't had time. I'm considering putting down some Pro-Pete in the backyard instead, and saving the Freedom for a little later when I can just put it down a little bit heavier. But we'll see how things pan out and see what's going on. But I really like Freedom fertilizer. I think it's a great product. I think it's a really fun product for sure. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description to my video and to the product listing on my website. So did that, and on to the next. I did a video documenting my broken belt on my Greensmaster. Again, if you haven't had a chance to check that one out, go for it. Hopefully, if you have a Greensmaster and you have a similar issue, that's a helpful video to help you fix it yourself. It's a pretty easy fix. It didn't take very long, and you're back in business once you have the replacement belt in 15 or 20 minutes. So got that video out, and yeah. So later in the week, got a couple of applications down. I applied Humic 12 and mixed in a little bit of microgreen. So really trying to get the biostimulants into the soil and just kind of taking care of the soil through the summer months, trying to back off on the nitrogen big time, just because I don't want to make the grass have to work any harder than it already is, especially in record heat. So we're just kind of helping the soil out so it can help the grass out. I did also film a video about my setup on my rotary scissors, and I am hoping to have that video edited soon. I'm working on another video about hydrotane, so as you can tell, I'm pretty busy over here. I've got a lot of content coming out, and lots of work ahead of me to do. So always staying busy, and the family's been out of town the last couple days, so I've had a little bit of extra time to kind of take advantage of that, and I think it's working out really, really well. So I miss the family. They're going to be home tonight, actually. They're on the way home right now at the time of recording this, so it'll be fun to see the kids and the wife again and spend some time with them tonight. So hoping to get the podcast recorded at least, and then I can edit it later tonight after the kids are in bed, which is what I typically do anyways. I typically record the podcast, if any of you really want to know. I typically record the podcast at nighttime after the kids are in bed, but since no one's here, I have a little bit of extra time, so I'm just going to take advantage of that, get it done, and then see how much extra time I have before they get home. So that's pretty much what's going on in my yard this week. I do want to take a quick break and come back with a little bit of an eye on golf. So be right back with you. So see you or talk to you again in just a minute. All right, want to take just a few minutes and talk about a particular segment here that I wish I could talk about more often, but I just haven't really had enough material to cover, and it usually only happens around major events. But this segment I want to coin as Eye on Golf. 4! And I want to just take a few minutes to talk about the upcoming tournament, the PGA tournament. The U.S. Open is happening, I believe, this weekend. Torrey Pines, so extremely noteworthy course, up there with Augusta, and this is probably the next biggest tournament as far as like big deal as the Masters. So PGA Championship, and like I said, Torrey Pines. I've been seeing some footage of the course and how it's looking as they've been getting it ready for the tournament. And obviously with professional golf tournaments, the course looks immaculate, but the details you don't really see too much of on TV. For example, the roughs at Torrey Pines right now, and that these players are going to have to deal with if they end up there, which I'm sure is going to happen. These roughs are nasty. Like, they look great. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean nasty that way. I mean nasty that they're going to be challenging because they're so deep. The grass is cut so tall. It's got to be like 5 inches at least. Maybe even more. I don't know. I don't even know if mowers can go this high. But it's going to be a game of hide and seek for sure. If you hit your ball in the rough, you better hope someone saw where it landed. Otherwise, forget about it. It is going to be buried. It's going to be lost. And it's only going to be found if somebody else comes along later and steps on it. So, yeah, I can't imagine playing golf in conditions like that because I play in the rough pretty regularly when I play. I don't know if any of you can relate. I guess it kind of just depends on who you're talking to. But I'll be honest, I play a lot out of the rough, and I can't imagine having to deal with rough like that. But that is not the main point of discussion here with this particular tournament at this particular golf course. It's not the roughs, it's the greens. And something that I never really paid attention to until I saw this particular article from the USGA organization. The greens at Torrey Pines, Poa annua, greens. Poa, the grass we all hate, the grass we all don't want. The greens are Poa annua. So wanted to talk about that really quick and just kind of share a little bit of excerpts from this article from the USGA and just share this with you. I think it's incredibly interesting, and I always thought cool season areas, golf courses, were bent grass greens, and it's not always the case. Another option, clearly, on an incredible golf course like Torrey Pines, Poa annua. So let me just kind of share a couple of excerpts here. I'll include a link to this in the show notes, in the description, wherever you're watching or listening to this, so that you can check this out as well. But in cooler regions, and this is quoting from the article, in cooler regions, 2 grasses are commonly used on putting greens, creeping bentgrass and Poa annua. Each can exist as the only species on a putting green or as a mixed stand. Playability is usually improved when only one species is present, but a mixture of the two is far more common and can provide excellent playability and improved reliability, which I think is super interesting. Poa annua has many characteristics that make it a great putting surface, including the ability to withstand traffic from golfers and maintenance equipment, tolerance of low light environments and cool environments, high density, or more plants per square inch than other species, and spike marks are less problematic due to a vertical growth habit. So that's also interesting as well. Obviously, they make a point that there is no perfect grass species and that Poa presents some challenges. I think Poa, to all of us homeowners, is a challenge in and of itself, but since they're growing it on purpose and maintaining it on purpose, they have their own challenges, which include seed head production, bumpy conditions late in the day and during early spring season, susceptibility to diseases and winter injury, and vulnerability to heat and drought. So that's kind of interesting too, and I think we can relate to some of those because, we look forward to susceptibility to winter injury primarily when we're dealing with Poa. But I think that's really fascinating that they're able to take a grass that for probably all of us listening, unless you work in the golf industry, and maintain greens that are Poa greens. The rest of us, we could honestly care less about Poa. We don't want it. We don't want anything to do with it. If we even see a single Poa seed head in our yard, we flip out. So I think this is really cool. If you have a chance to check out this article, it's literally a maybe 2-minute read. But yeah. So last paragraph here says, the bottom line is that every golf course has a unique set of conditions and circumstances that dictate which grass species will perform best at their facility. Poa has its pros and cons, just like any other grass species, but when managed properly in the right environment, it can produce some of the best putting surfaces in the world. In fact, 9 of the past 16 U.S. Open championships, 9 of the past 16, more than half of the last championships have been played on putting surfaces, putting greens, that were primarily Poa annua. Fun fact. Really incredible information right there. I thought that was a super interesting article. And that there is my eye on golf. 4! I love that. All right, that's going to go ahead and do it for this particular segment. And up next, Jeremy of the Greener Lawn. Be right back. All right, back at it, and this time on location at the Greener Lawn.
At the Greener Lawn.
It's always fun to come up to the Greener Lawn.
Definitely enjoy having you up here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for being the first outside location to record the Cherish Each Moment podcast.
Hey.
It's no longer blazing hot outside. The sun's going down just on the other side of the camera over there.
Behind a cloud currently, so super nice.
Yes. I actually took my sunglasses off.
I'm going to keep mine
It's-
on for just a little bit longer.
It's that nice.
Yeah. It's
So-
just my luck that as soon as I pull mine off, it's going to get sunny again. And I already look like I can't see half the time when I have them on, like I'm always squinting.
Yeah.
They're like, is he really even looking at the camera? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to get by. Let me just talk. Just let me talk.
Yeah, that's a YouTuber trick.
Yeah.
Sunglasses.
Yeah, sunglasses. I touched that one a long time ago.
Yeah.
I got it from Alan, though.
You know where I picked it up from, actually?
Where'd you get it?
Casey Neistat.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of the originator from it.
Yeah.
Because then you can just be looking anywhere. You can do your own little, like, look out into space and just be good with it all.
Yep, and no one ever knows.
Nope, have no clue where you're looking.
That's the best part.
Yep.
So, we're outside.
We are.
We've got a freshly mowed greener lawn in
Yeah.
the background. We've
Did a
got the
great job on it.
ambiance of the neighborhood. A motorcycle just went by. We'll probably get some airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what else?
Yeah. Well,
And we'll just kind of enjoy that.
I like it.
Cherish it.
Mhm.
How about that?
Well, we already cherished the mow out there, so...
We did. We
Yeah.
mowed and we edged. You made a pass with the string trimmer.
I did. I proved that I knew how to do that part of it, too.
We did a little live stream.
Mhm.
We've been busy.
We have. We've done a few things. Probably get a couple more things done if we get done with this quick enough. But I'm trying to use as much free help as I possibly can here.
Well, what else do you want to do?
We got plenty of things that we can throw down in there. We definitely have.
Yeah, you've got a few boxes sitting in the garage I see over there.
Yeah, we definitely done unbox them
Probably
because if I don't have you unbox them, they're going to sit in those boxes for a long time. That's
This
probably,
is true.
That's
At
probably
least
one of those-
3 months.
Yeah, well, can you help me get that mower that's in there out of that box? Because it's been there in July. It's going to be there for a full year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we will have to do something after we get wrapped up here.
Yeah, just so that it definitely gets out of the box. Like, if it's just an unboxing, that's all I care about. At least it gets me motivated.
There you go. So tell the people what's been going on at the Greener Lawn the last week or so. That's usually how I like to start things out. Just kind of recap the last week or so and catch up on things.
Okay. Yeah, so at the Greener Lawn, we have started a little bit different fertilizing regimen. I usually do my spoon-fed regimens, which I've always loved, and they're a great little regimen, as you well know.
Yeah.
And so I've been tossing that down now. It has 3 different applications at 3 ounces per 1,000 on the green effect, and it's really starting to pop and grab a hold, because for the whole season now I am currently at 0.35 pounds of nitrogen, and each time I put this down it's only 0.017 pounds of nitrogen.
Yeah. So for people listening that don't really understand the math behind that,
Okay.
I guess the basic way to break that down would be the total amount of nitrogen that you've applied to your lawn is about the equivalent of maybe half of a normal application, or even a third of a normal application of a regular fertilizer off the shelf at Home Depot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, normally when they put it down, they want you to put it down right at a pound of nitrogen. And the way that is that NPK, the numbers on that, is the percentage of how much of 1 pound is that at specific analysis. So like on the nitrogen, if it's like a 6, like it is on the green effect, that means for every pound, 0.06 of it would actually be that amount. Mm-hmm. So on the small teaspoon feeding that I'm doing with these ounces that I'm feeding, it's a very small amount and a micro amount of that. So yeah, it goes down really, really, really slowly, and it's just kind of a slow, even push.
Cool. And what products have you been using?
So that's been the biggest push for me right now was those. I love my Power Hit, which is RGS Aerate. That is one of my favorite championed things that I've always liked. Obviously, other people call it the Compaction Cure, but I like it as the Power Hit. It's always been the Power Hit to me because of what it does for my lawn. Relaxes it, makes things look a lot better in my lawn. Excuse me. Man, you passed that over here. I don't know what you had, but
that's part of podcasting.
Yeah.
It's like yawning.
Yeah.
You know, if you yawn, and someone in the same room will shortly yawn after when you're podcasting, if you have some air bubbles that you need to get out, it's contagious.
Yeah, you definitely gave it to me. So, But yeah, so it's been the green effect, it's been the aerate, RGS, and then my other really extremely favorite one that I've been excited about has been the kitchen sink, has been Yard Mastery. It is the Soil Mastery, and I've really enjoyed that.
005.
Mm-hmm. I've extremely enjoyed that stuff just because, yeah, I have all my bios from my liquids, but it's just nice to be able to supplement it and give it another little iron kick on the backside, and it has all the bios in there. And it's really helped it out, and I'm really championing that. I'm a true believer of that one. I really like it a lot.
I need to pick some up. I haven't tried that one yet, but I'd like to.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome.
It's definitely
for anyone to incorporate into their
they say that you only need to use one or the other between Next or that one, but there's nothing wrong with using them both. Liquids go down and react differently in the soil than a granular does. Yeah. And so you're getting two different modes of action between the two of them, and it really makes it a lot nicer. So,
yeah, probably get a lot more consistency too.
Yeah, just because it is of the granular, and then you're using the liquids over the top and then the granular, and kind of a back and forth program with it. Yeah, really helps out quite a bit.
Super cool. And your results are really good.
Yeah.
Lawn looks great.
Yeah, it's definitely performing, especially on a low nitrogen. I haven't hit it with anything heavy or anything. The biggest thing that I gave it was a green pop at the beginning of the year, but I only put down 18 ounces per 1,000 at the beginning of the year, and that was all it got. So it wasn't a huge hit by any means. It was just its normal amount just to wake it up. And we're talking March, I want to say. I don't know. It's on that video.
It's been a while.
Video. Yeah, it's definitely been a long time.
Yeah, cool. So, what do you think has been the biggest challenge for you this year so far?
The heat. The heat's definitely been the biggest challenge. Watering. That's why I had to put out that video, is because that's the biggest thing that I run into every single time I go out to help somebody or I get a question. They'll be like, is it bugs? Is it pests? And before they think of anything, they think it's a fertilizing issue. They think it's pests before narrowing it down to watering. And so the heat has really made that a lot worse. And it's exacerbated everything.
It's been a very unusual year as far as when the heat came on. It's been several weeks early. And it's hotter up here where you live by a couple degrees anyways, which isn't significant, but it is a little bit hotter up here compared to my house.
I was going to say, do you think that's because of the lake effect you kind of get?
It could be, yeah. It could be. We're
kind of further away from the Great Salt Lake, and we get a lot of like that desert feel over here. I'm surprised because we have the marshes that we aren't a little bit more humid, but
yeah, that is surprising. We generally don't really see much humidity anyways.
Not here in Utah.
It's very dry, very arid.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just kind of make it work. But this year's been a little different just because it's hot earlier and we're in like the worst drought in recorded history.
Yeah.
So we've all been trying to figure out and strategize around that and kind of deal with different restrictions being implemented by the cities that we live in. And is it much different up here in your city than it is down for me?
Nothing specific here in my city. It's a statewide thing where they only say water twice a week, and watering better, getting better coverage and stuff is about the only thing that I have expounded and tried to teach people. Obviously using products like Hydrotain, stuff that will retain moisture, keep it down in the soil where we have it, and then spot treat in between instead of having to turn on a whole zone. We just spot treat in between. Champion always baby shampoo just to keep the soil open and keep that hydrophobic soil away, because definitely our clays will go hydrophobic super quick.
For sure. I think that's kind of the secret sauce other than the Hydrotain is the baby shampoo.
Really is. Makes a huge difference, because I have noticed when I was recording for that watering video that I was like, oh, I have baby shampoo on it. It's been about like 2 weeks. And I put water on it and I watched it beat up. And I was like, oh, that's not good. And it just sat there and it like sat for like 2-3 minutes. And I was like, that's definitely not going to do what I want it to do. So I went and grabbed some baby shampoo, mixed it up into that little ortho, tossed it down, and within 30 seconds, all the water was gone.
Yeah. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we want.
Down into the soil.
Yeah. So if you're struggling with the same issue, then there you go. Try some baby shampoo. You just put, what, a couple ounces in your ortho?
So I realize that how it works is that everybody always wants to know. So I always tell people 2 ounces per 1,000 because they always want a number. But honestly, I'll take 3 ounces and do my whole 8,000 square feet and just put it on a 2 and just walk it with just a couple of ounces, because all it's going to do is break the bond within the water, and then the water can penetrate because it breaks the bond down in the soil. Yeah. And so it doesn't need a whole lot. People always want to know. And 2 ounces per 1,000 is not a bad amount, but it really doesn't need that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I've been using too, is 2 or 3 ounces per 1,000. Yeah. Not very much at all, just a little splash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And you had mentioned a video that came out today about watering. Today's Wednesday the 16th. This will probably be out tomorrow or Friday, depending on when the edit's done. But
gotcha.
For people wondering, they can go to the Greener Lawn YouTube channel and find that. Get some information about watering. I haven't been doing too bad either.
I was going to ask you, because the difference that we have between my lawn, which I'm keeping it, I'm actually bumping it back up. It's at probably about 2.5 inches right now. I had it down to 2 inches because I was all the way down to F on the Time Master,
which is all the way down.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so I was definitely down, but I was starting to notice that I felt like I had too much sand showing. That's when I had that whole sand issue where I was like, oh, I think it's drying out too quick. The sand's heating up and all that. Yep. So as far as that's concerned, I wanted to ask you, what has been your watering regimen here during this? Because you're a lot shorter. What's your height right now in the front yard?
So I'm keeping the front yard the same. It's at 3/4 of an inch still. And yeah, watering, I always look forward to watering days right now. Watering days are my favorite days.
Yeah.
Because we're on similar restrictions. We can water twice a week, and my city's been specific enough to say that we can't water consecutive days on those twice a week, which why would you do that anyways?
Not very smart.
You got to
might as well just water once a week.
You have to cover every
point.
Spectrum of people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you definitely do. If we sit here long enough, there'll be some people's sprinklers that pop up that will really make us think. I'll just say that much. Is it close to 8 yet? Because at 8 o'clock, it hasn't popped up yet.
8:20.
I'm surprised he's cut it back a little bit.
Hey, he's doing his part.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but yeah, 2 days a week. You can't water consecutive days. The exceptions are obviously new seed or sod.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of new construction where I live, so
tons.
There's people that have to water and get their sod in, and then you can spot water in between your waterings, and that I've had to do that. It's been a necessity.
Oh yeah.
I still have areas that have been recovering really. The whole front yard's been recovering really well from the sand, but it still generates the heat because it's still near the surface, and so the lawn does struggle a little bit with that. So a lot of soil amendments this year.
Almost a must.
Yes, and in fact, I found a bag of humic DG in the garage last night, and I just threw the whole thing down over my whole yard.
Not gonna hurt anything there.
It was like a double app.
Yeah, well, humic acid. Not much wrong can go there.
Nope, not at all. So, yeah, I usually a day or two before watering day is when I see the hot spots, and I just hit it with the hose for a few minutes on each one, and it does fine.
Sound like we're watering on the similar days, Monday, Thursdays?
Yeah, I think mine's actually Sunday, Thursday.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're just stretched the other way.
For some reason, I think they say not to water on Sunday. At least where I live, they do.
My grandma was saying something about that. Do we know anything about that?
I don't know.
My grandma was asking me. She was like saying that you're not supposed to water on Sundays.
And is that just like an unwritten rule, or I don't know?
Maybe they need it for holy water somewhere or something. I don't.
Well, we are in Utah.
Yeah, so I don't know on that one. So yeah, Mondays and Thursdays is my days because I try to keep the water less holy. Need to get closer to the HELL.
So I'd be curious to know, and I think people who listen to this show as well would be curious to know a little bit more about the background of your YouTube channel and you know the things that got you started on the YouTube. Your tenure on YouTube, and you know, kind of what your influences were, and you know, things like that.
So I'll start with my influences. So my influence is
the Least talking to the microphone.
So my influences were probably quite similar to what everybody else's influences were. About the same time that I started looking at this was around 2017. We all had about the same person that when we were looking up how to do our lawns, how to do different things. Alan Hain, obviously the lawn care nut. We all had that same, experience of who we were going to, who we heard first from, who we saw on the YouTubes. And so I was watching his stuff, and so 2017 I had hydro seeded my lawn. And so my lawn went in, and of course, listening to Alan Hain and everything, went straight to Milorganite. I had the Milorganite train and everything there. And so 2018 rolls around, so early 2018, and he says that he has a new product that he's going to start working with, and it was the Next line. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to grab a couple of these. And so like the first things that he sells, I jump on them. So I have Next products in my house before it's even time to put Next products down. And so being new to the lawn care, and I had overseeded the year before in June 2nd, I hydro-seeded. Overseeding is on my brain, obviously. So I hydro-seeded in June and grew it in all through the summer. People who say you can't grow seed during the summer are wrong, just water it correctly. But I get to March and I'm like, okay, I have these products. I have a brand new yard. I need to be able to dictate or understand where my yard is at today versus the end of the season. My daughter comes to me and she's like, Dad, I want to start a YouTube channel. And I'm like, I'm not doing one of those YouTube channels for kids. What is this? So I'm out in my yard recording and I'm like, I don't want to sit here and like store these on my storage on my phone. So I need to place them somewhere. I need somewhere where I can hold these. And all of a sudden, my daughter's voice comes in my head. Dad, I want to do a YouTube channel. So I'm like, oh, I have one of those. I can just put it on YouTube. That's cool. I'll just put it up there. Like anybody comes and sees it, and I guess they see it. But at least I have a documentation of what my yard looks like. Yeah. I put it up, and all of a sudden, I get all these questions from people, and I'm like, I don't know. I've been watching Alan Hain, and you guys are asking me questions. So obviously, it caused me to start looking around and seeking answers and finding answers to various topics and various things. And over time, I've been able to hook up with product manufacturers, distributors, inventors, people who own their own businesses and learn in depth. And, I've gone down the rabbit hole of taking courses and different things on different products and stuff. So it's really transformed from this guy that was out in his yard and just recording it for him just to see where he's going to end up, to now helping people all over the world, which I really enjoy. And that's kind of my favorite part about it, is being able to assist people and make their lawns green no matter where they're at in the United States, in Utah, in the world. Yeah. It's an exciting part.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. I feel like it's just as much a learning experience for me as it is for anyone else. Mm-hmm. We just document it. Yeah. We're not professionals. I don't consider myself a professional by any stretch of the term, but I just like to document the things I'm learning and the products I'm trying and the tools I like to try and use too. And
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like to do my live streams. So normally when I don't have you guys on there and I have something kind of fun to talk about, I'm actually learning from those around, and asking them, hey, what's going on in your area? What's going on? What are you seeing? What pests? What kind of watering issues? What restrictions? So that when I get people to reach out from those areas, I know what they're dealing with, and I know how to steer them because, I've heard from other people what's going on. I don't know how many times I've just regurgitated something that a subscriber has said to me, and just said, hey, I know that this person is in the same neck of the woods as you, and they're dealing with these issues, and here's how they're doing it, A, B, C. Yeah. And so, it's definitely a learning curve on our side, too. We learn just as much from you guys as you guys do from us, so it's much appreciated from our side, too.
Yeah, and getting that input from people who watch our videos kind of helps us in some ways to know where we can, plan our content for future videos.
Exactly. Exactly. That's kind of the reason why I had to come up with this watering video that I just did.
Yeah.
Is because so many people across the Midwest, the Western United States, are dealing with the same drought. We're all having the same issues, water restrictions. We're trying to figure out how to get water down appropriate and into the soil at the right times, how to not have it hydrophobic and have all these issues. So it was definitely pushed on by other people in different circumstances.
Yeah, and then you got to throw a layer of conservation on top of that as well.
Yep.
And I think it's more than just here in Utah. It's the entire Western United States that's going through a pretty rough drought right now.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I think our friends at Hydrotain are kind of seeing that. So,
they're definitely a beneficial product at this point in time for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We have a Hobbit inbound. Hold on.
No, he's just helping me with the camera.
No, I get that, but we have a Hobbit that's working the camera right now. I didn't know.
For those listening that don't know, we've got Ryan Quick here on the other side of the camera. Episode 6, I believe it is. He was on the show.
Who's Ryan Quick? I always thought he was Ryan
Highlander
Little.
Lawn.
I always thought he was Ryan Little.
Oh.
Is that not your last name? Oh.
Jeremy really loves to take swings there. You can hit it whenever you want, start a new one. My camera only goes 30 minutes before it decides it doesn't want to record video anymore, regardless of how much memory is left on the SD card. Thanks, Canon.
So, talking about conservation.
Yeah. Hydrotain's definitely benefiting from that.
Definitely.
But, hey, when you've got a product that works.
Why not, right?
Yeah, why not? I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you get it watered in correctly, because I had kind of hit and miss with it last year. Some clients had a bad time. And talking to Hydrotain this year and understanding how the product works and has to get down in the soil before it's activated, it makes all the difference in the world. If the soil is wet and then you apply it and then you water it down before it dries, or if it's a granular, if you get that 1/4 to a 1/2 inch everywhere, or in the hot spots you water it in with your hose, makes a huge difference. Yeah,
and the label's pretty specific about that too, as far as applying to wet soil and then watering it in after the application.
100.
And I think that's important. Just read the label.
And follow the label.
And follow the label, yeah. So, what's been the hardest part about YouTube in your experience?
So mine, I think, honestly, if I can speak candidly here, I think it's been because I have been hit and miss with content. My grandfather died the second year I started this, and I was shooting a video when I found out he had passed away. And I took it hard, and I held my YouTube channel responsible in my head, and I would take it out on my YouTube channel. Like, I would make excuses, and so my growth has been super duper slow. And now that I've been pushing this year and I cleared my head and everything from it, it's been a little bit difficult for me to get subscribers. It's not been as easy as it once was for me. I don't know if it's something in the algorithm, something I'm missing. I don't get a lot of feedback negatively. So that's been kind of the hard part for my growth and my channel growth. Like, where, I was mentoring you a year and a half ago, and all of a sudden now you're at 12,000 going on 13,000. I'm still at 7,800 subscribers. And so it's great to see others grow, and it's great to see those people who I've helped grow. And it definitely makes a huge difference, in my psyche and stuff, to see that I can help others, but it's been my difficulty in my growth.
Yeah.
And I do believe that it has something to do with my on and off. And this year I have been a little bit better. Like, I have definitely seen a little bit better growth and stuff, but my numbers are just lacking. And so it's a little bit difficult for me, but it'll come. It'll definitely come with time.
Yeah, for sure. I have no doubt that it will for you. That YouTube algorithm is like the great unknown of our existence in our world, especially obviously people that just watch YouTube casually don't really care or think about it. But as people who create content for YouTube and are on YouTube daily, it's always something we're thinking about and how we can get good at it or catch the wave on there and get its attention. And
it's crazy because, like I said, I started in 2018, my channel early 2018. The things that I could do in 2018 that would catch their attention could get a video to go pretty decently. I try those methods today, and
not the same results.
Not at all. Yeah, so
yeah.
It's trying to keep up with whatever their algorithm is and whatever they're favoring, and it's not like it's something you can research because it's not common knowledge by any means.
And you would think that if they made it more common knowledge, they would get more traffic on their website and they generate more revenue, but they don't. It's always going to be the great mystery, and I guess that's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah, but if you make something so predictable, then, how many people are you going to have pigeonholed into one thing before that actually breaks that algorithm together?
Yeah.
So I get why they change it up, but it's one of those things that sometimes you just don't know how to spin the wheels.
Yeah, that's true. But we keep making content. My theory has always been the more content you make, the easier it is for people to find you.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all I do is I just keep making videos. If someone doesn't watch one video, maybe they'll find another one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's definitely how it is. It's I have found this year that I'm helping a lot of people around the world, that I'm making content towards what I'm seeing in their things, like in their situations and stuff, and I'm able to refer people back to them. And I have the content already built so that I can give a referral back to an old video, and it's helped me with helping others. Because then they can see it firsthand because I made a video about it.
And it saves you time because you don't have to say the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. Yeah, it was one of my early why is my lawn not greening up as quickly as everybody else's. That was where I figured it out. I was like, I'm done saying this. I have said it way too many times. Here's the reason why mine's green and yours isn't. You don't want mine. The reason why it's green because I have sand. It's struggling. The roots are shallow. It's very thin. Yours is thick. It's doing well. It's still dormant. This is the reason why,
Yep.
And it was like, please just watch this video. You are welcome.
The nice thing is you can just text somebody or email someone a link and you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just answer questions after the fact.
Right.
And normally if you do it well enough, they usually don't have very many questions.
Yeah. That's the goal, right?
There's a car driving by right now and you can't hear it.
Hybrid.
Like yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah. It's like one of the originals.
I can hear it a little bit.
Well, it just turned on.
Just kicked on.
Yeah, it just kicked on just then.
Continuing to add to the ambiance of our outdoor setting.
Exactly. I'm digging it, though. We really haven't been the north flight path. There goes one right there, but we really haven't been the north flight path. So they must be approaching from the south today.
Very likely. Yes. Well, what's ahead for you? What's next for the greener lawn? What's on your radar? What's coming down the pipeline?
All those boxes in there that we really need to open.
You want to talk about them?
We can definitely talk about them. It's no surprise that I try different products, that I'm not pigeonholed into any one. People know me a lot for the next products that I use and that I champion and I like. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I always try new products. Like I said earlier, I'm using a Yard Mastery product that is an Anderson's product, and I'm loving it. That's Soil Mastery. It's good stuff. It's a good crossover biostimulant for me for a granular product, because you can't get any next products in granular that are biostimulants like that. So you got to cross over somehow. And so, yeah, those boxes over there are actually more of them from the Andersons. And going to be doing some test plots and some patches throughout the yard with some of the Andersons products. There's going to be some PGR in there. There are some biostimulants, and that's what I really asked him for, was a lot of biostimulants. And then there's 2 fertilizers over there. I don't know much about either of them. Haven't really done a lot of research on either of them, but I'm super excited for them. Once again, same as what I'm doing up front. I'm going to be doing a spoon-fed regimen, but obviously with a granular product.
Nice. So, do you want to talk about your backyard too?
We can talk
Any
about
plans for your backyard?
So there was plans. We were supposed to have a bunch of beds put back there and trees, and it was supposed to be leveled. But TaylorMade Lawns got super duper busy, so I don't think that project is going to happen anytime soon, which is totally fine because they're having great success, and I knew I was going to have to hit a super slim window if I was going to get with them. And then it got super duper hot. My beds had to be put on hold because I don't feel right about putting in trees or flower beds with shrubs and stuff when I don't know what our uncertainty is with water. And so everything that we have is established currently. And so I'm holding on to those things. And so it's on a holding pattern at this point, but overall it's doing a lot better. There's some dry patches back there like there is up front, and it's still a salad bar, but it's doing, from last year, it's doing a million times better. I thought there was going to be some other content that was going back there, so I didn't push it as hard as I could have because we were going to tear out half of it.
Yeah.
Or tear up half of it.
Well, I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah,
and,
I'm hoping that it's between this fall and next spring, but we got to see where water ends up and where leveling projects end up.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we get a nice heavy winter season this year. I know one winter season that's successful isn't going to be enough, but at least it'll put us in the right direction.
Yeah, we definitely need to have a better winter than what we had this year. This year it was super duper slim. It was super duper little pickings. I don't know about you, but I was only able to use my snowblower one time, and it still was a skiff. We didn't get hardly anything up here, so it was. Yeah, I still had content that I had to make for Toro, so I was like, "This is what I got. I hope this is going to be good enough."
My experience was the same.
Yeah, So yeah, hopefully we get some kind of moisture, whether it is water from rain, water from snow, water from another state. I don't care what it is. We just
That'd be
need
cool if
water.
states could transfer water.
Yeah. I thought that they were looking at cloud seeding. Is that not a thing for real? Like, I always thought cloud seeding was a thing. Am I just up in the night? Somebody just let me know. I've always thought cloud seeding, like where you could like put something on a cloud and it would bring moisture. It would suck it up from the atmosphere. Hydrotain in the clouds.
That would be sweet.
Hydrotain in the clouds.
Maybe you're onto something.
Hydrotain. Let's get on that.
That's awesome. Well, Jeremy, thanks for being the first outdoor guest on the Cherish Each Moment podcast.
I really appreciate you having me, and it was a blast.
Yeah, this is actually really cool. It turned out really, really nice. It's a really nice evening out here. It's not windy.
Not at all.
And yeah, thank you.
All the warm and fuzzies leaving you out on this. It makes me feel good right now. Thank you.
That's Jeremy of the Greener Lawn on the Cherish Each Moment podcast. Had a blast hanging out with Jeremy of the Greener Lawn. Thanks to him for letting me spend some time over at his place last night. And as mentioned, Ryan Quick from the Highlander Lawn was there as well. And we had a good time. Spent a couple hours up there. He's about 50 miles north of me. And pending traffic conditions, it takes about an hour or so to get up there. So had a good time. And look forward to spending more time with Jeremy this year and hopefully getting him out to the GIE. That's something that we forgot to talk about while we were recording last night. Should have put them on the spot. That would have been pretty fun to do. Yeah. But getting into what's coming up next and what to look forward to, like I talked about in the beginning segment of the show today, I have a lot of content on the way for you. Got a lot of videos to get out and a lot of videos yet to record. So, yeah, look forward to that. If you're not subscribed to the main YouTube channel, please head on over there, get yourself subscribed, click on the notification bell. And before you do that, make sure you head on over to the Cherish Each Moment podcast YouTube channel, subscribe there, and get your notifications turned on there as well. So appreciate all of you listening. There is a lot of content ahead, and I hope to get all of that out soon. And I'm just going to make sure that I take my time editing them and make sure that I have all the points I want to make documented and recorded, and put out the best videos that I can. So look forward to that. Look forward to a hydrogen video coming out here probably the same day that this comes out. And I've got an Ely and HoseLink comparison video coming out soon. I have an update on the Project Lawn Backyard Seeding Project. I'm really excited to share that with you. That probably gives you kind of a hint on how that went. And yeah, just waiting to get some footage from Jimmy. He said he's going to send me some video footage, and then I can go ahead and edit that. I haven't had time to get out there and see it in person yet, which I wish I could, but it's just been so busy. So much going on, but I hope to get out there soon and see it in person. I know that he's really happy with how it's going, and I'm pretty happy with how it's going too. So, got to take care of that. Got a spiker video coming out pretty soon, and more podcasts to record to keep you up to date on everything that's going on and share my thoughts on everything going on in the lawn world. So really, that's all I have to talk about. That's going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you have any other topics or things that you want me to talk about on the podcast, maybe some interesting segment ideas, like Ion Golf or things like that, any suggestions on special guests that you would like on the show, I'd like to have more guests on the show. I do have some guests lined up for future episodes, but if there's somebody that you would like me to have on the show and talk to about anything or something in particular, shoot me an email, jimmy@jimmylewismose.com, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions and your suggestions. And yes, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me ramble about all things lawn care and grass and keeping you updated on what's going on in my world. This is the Cherish Each Moment podcast. Don't forget, when you're out taking care of the yard and mowing, to cherish each moment. See you next time.